Yo, 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 what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. Representing Team Kings of Games. And today, I'm going to be coming at you guys with test hands for my latest variant for ZEFRA ENDYMION. Basically, ZEFRA ENDYMION Pendulum Magicians with the Mythical Beast engine of 6 cards. So I guess, yeah, it is kind of like ZEFRA Mythical Indie Magicians, if you want to just name all the engines and then call it the deck title. But yeah, I'm going to do some test hands just to show you guys how consistent the deck is. Obviously, Electromite's banned, so every hand's not going to be able to get you there. Before, when Electromite was legal, it was like, okay, dang, you know, like every hand dang near could get you something. But now it's more RNG than anything. I mean, the deck's still very consistent. You have a ton of draw cards if you want to incorporate all those. And then there's so many compact engines that you can integrate into the main deck just to basically mitigate some of the issues that the deck can have. For me, my main issue with bricking was drawing too many low scales or too many high, and just not a proper composition and a mixture of both. So I ended up incorporating the Pendulum Calls back into my list, and the Alliance. Obviously, Alliance can get 3 counters on any spell counter holder just on you know, searching pin call, activating it, playing a scale. And the other thing that pin call offered, like I was saying, was the consistency of scales that's lacking with Electromite being banned. It's a major issue for me, being like I'm not a diehard, but like a very dedicated and committed Pendulum player. Like, I don't want this archetype to die, even though some people don't like it. There's a ton of combo decks that can do very degenerate things, but this is a very infamous strategy, and its summoning mechanic itself has changed the game. So I feel like it definitely has earned its stripes as a combo deck for it to be hit on the ban list several times. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. I think at this point it's 4 to 5 times that the Pendulum strategy itself has been hit. They introduced link format and restricted the Pendulum summoning mechanic to where you can only summon to your extra monster zone to try to cripple this deck. And all the things everybody continues trying to do to cripple this deck, it somehow still finds a way to be able to produce ridiculously overpowered boards, to play through interruptions, to play through hand traps with this good hands. And it's tried and true. It's proven. It definitely deserves the respect that it is due. But these test hands are just to show you guys how consistent my list is. If you guys are interested in the list, it is on my channel. And if you just look up ZEFRA ENDYMION, or you know, anything related to ZEFRA on the channel, you'll definitely find, I think you'll find something for you. With this hand, I did draw Pin Call and Alliance, so at least I know what I'm discarding on my Pin Call. Whew. The major question is, am I going to Scale Abductor or summon it? So if I Scale Abductor, I can search out ZEFRA Neo, which is my counter trap, and I can load scales on it. If I normal summon it, I can get way more advantage, I think, just off of Magician Souls and the Spellbook engine. So I'm going to normal summon Abductor because it's going to give me way more advantage in the long run just to build my board up. So I'm going to go ahead and start by normal summoning Abductor. You guys saw me power shuffle and cut my deck in half and shuffle it again. I don't like seeing both of these, but I need to see at least one for, like, even though I was just so blessed to already draw high and low scale, I want this. So I'm going to go ahead and activate the Duelist Alliance, put a counter on her. I'm sorry, actually, let me go ahead and activate Purple Poison Magician first, put the first counter, then activate Duelist Alliance, you know, so that I can actually legally activate it. That's my son in the background. So that's going to go to 2, and we're going to go ahead and get another copy of Pendulum Call. As soon as I find that daggone Pendulum Call, there we go. And then we're obviously going to go ahead and activate Pendulum Call, discarding Pendulum Call. Like, it's like when you're playing Salaman Grits and you activate Cyanide Mining, discarding Cyanide Mining. Oh, it's so funny to see it happen. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and resolve. I would honestly get the Harmonizing in a 7 scale. So I'm going to get Dragon Pit and Harmonizing. If I somehow RNG into ZEFRA cards and I see a Providence or an Oracle, I'm just going to search ZEFRA Neo so I can get the counter trap. So I'm going to grab those. And then now my hand is ENDYMION, Harmonizing, and Dragon Pit Magician. I'm going to remove 3 counters from Abductor to search for my proxy Magician Soul. The only proxy in my deck is the Magician Soul. I'm going to go ahead and activate Magician Soul's effect. I can see Mighty Master definitely coming out with counters, with something to hold with counters. What I don't have is a Jackal King. What I don't have is Reflection. So, you know, in hindsight, if you're like, I'm playing Adamant, you know, you might want to dump the Reflection, because you could just bounce one of their rocks. Like when they make Galagranite, you could just bounce it to the extra deck. When they go ahead and special summon out one of their researchers or analyzers, you could just bounce it. It's totally up to you. Honestly, what I would do is I would just send the Jackal King, because it's a heavy spell counter holder that I don't have, and it is a form of negation. So I'll just send the Jackal King, because I definitely see Indy hitting the field just by pin summoning it out. Or, you know, you could send, for example, like I could see a Hindsight Vortex Blade, but you can already do that off of Harmonizing. So I'll definitely just send the Jackal King and special out the Magician's Soul. There are unfortunately no extra spells to use the draw effect. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're just going to convert these. And we're going to summon out our Crowley. Now, in a perfect world, you're going to get secrets. So we're going to grab secrets, Blue Boy, and Knowledge. And I'll just do a dice roll for that, because that's how it works anyways. And want to try to be as realistic as possible with these test hands and just show you guys, you know, the end result of it. Because this is for you guys. It's definitely for the subscribers. And if anybody wasn't aware of some of my latest projects, I'm still in the woodworks of building Gladiator Beast and also building Plunder Patrols. So I am still definitely, if you guys are watching this and you have any of the cards, I'm definitely trying to build both of those decks. If you guys have any way, you know, anything that you can help me out with, and I'm not asking for handouts. If you guys just have the cards, I'd be willing to trade or pick them up from you. For Plunders, I'm definitely trying to get like the red beards and the blue beards. I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 3. Of course, it's the Knowledge. It's the one you never want to grab, right? You never want to grab it. So we have Knowledge. I can still make Selene. It's just, dang, you know, you don't really like when you get the Knowledge. But this is real. This happens sometimes. You're not always going to get secrets. And that's why I wanted to do the dice roll instead of just grabbing secrets, because your opponent's not going to... Because remember, your opponent randomly picks one. So the dice roll makes it more realistic. It kind of sucked. If it was Blue Boy, you know, it would have sucked too, because Blue Boy's a normal summon. So this was like the better of the worst options, because if it was Blue Boy, it's dead. But if it was Secrets or Knowledge, you could still play it. So it's obviously Secrets is the best one. Let's see here. My mindset right basically my mind is on like this. This is what I'm thinking right now. I said mindset. That's so funny. But basically my mind is directed towards this. Scaling this, pin summoning out the Abductor from extra deck, and then making the Selene, and then using the Knowledge for a follow-up after I resolve Selene's effect to bring out the Jackal King. And that way I can load counters in the Jackal King, then send the Selene off from the field to the grave to draw 2. Instead of just knowledging this away, being greedy, trying to get a +1, then I lose the field presence of this. I can't get the Abductor back on field, and then it's going to be harder to make a Selene after. So these are things that you really want to think about. So I'm just going to scale the Dragon Pit, and I'm actually going to pin the Abductor from extra, the Indy here, and the Harmonizing there, and activate Harmonizing's effect. The Purple Poison will come up for you, so it's a good thing that you drew for scale. Summon out the Time Gazer from Harmonizing. Banished and face up extra. We'll summon out the Meteor Burst, target the Dragon Pit, and special summon it. We'll overlay the Dragon Pit into an Absolute. Another cool thing that we can do here, we could just take the Crowley and the Absolute and just convert them into the Selene. So that's one thing that you can do. And you can just, that way you can leave the Abductor on field so it can collect counters, so it can be something that ENDYMION can interact with on your opponent's turn. It's just some helpful tips for you guys. So we're going to send this, and the Crowley to make my proxy of Selene, the Queen of Magicians. I don't have any. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, she's just going to get 4 spell counters. So she can only resolve her effect potentially one time, but she does remove from the field, if I'm not mistaken, to summon a spellcaster from your hand or graveyard in defense to a zone she points to. So she's going to get 4 because this counts as a spell. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is activate her effect, removing 3 to summon out this Jackal King. And then I'm going to activate the Spellbook of Knowledge and send her away to draw 2. So 1 and 2, I drew White Winged and an Allure of Darkness. And this is going to get 1 counter, and this is going to get 2 spell counters. Something else that's really cool is I can make Union Carrier to lock my opponent out of their extra deck. That's something that's potentially there too. I would definitely risk it for the biscuit with this Allure because it's definitely worth it. I don't see myself really, progressing any further besides this. There's optimal plays I can make for my extra deck, but I'm just going to go ahead and risk it for the biscuit with the Allure. I'm not going to scale the White Wing. Well, I could, actually, you know what? Yeah, I could scale the White Wing because Purple Poison can clear himself on my following turn. But if my board gets completely broken on my opponent's turn and they don't attack into any of my spellcasters, it could come back to bite me where I have 2 low scales, and I would basically have no choice but to find a way to get a Dark Spellcaster to clear that. So it's up to you. It's totally up to you. But the other thing is, too, having the White Wing there is another protection because it negates when a spell, basically when a card or effect resolves that targets the Dark Spellcaster, you can negate the effect and destroy this card. So these do have a potential of clearing themselves. It's up to you, but I would say let's just theoretically, let's just say we have a way, so I would scale it. We have 4, and I did explain to you guys that it can come back to bite you. And then activate the Allure. We drew 1, we drew 2. It's 2 chronographs, so now we're kind of regretting drawing that, scaling that White Wing, right? But the chronograph also at the same time, the time gazer got summoned off the harmonizing. So it's not like necessarily you're going to capitalize off its effect. It's just a high scale for the next turn. So those spellcasters are those spell counters are up. Now, like I said, you have a Union Carrier play here that you can potentially make. I'm debating because I do have 2 negations right here at the end of this. Oh yeah, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to summon out my Vortex. My bad, 3 negations. That totally slipped my mind. As I'm over here trying to explain stuff to everybody, I really forgot to summon my Vortex. Because remember, I summoned the Absolute and linked it in the Crawley into the Celine. Forgot to bring out my Vortex. So now that I think of it, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to convert... that's tough, that's tough. That is so tough. Because the thing is, if I convert these, then Endymion does not have anything to interact with, and he's just a blank card at that point. So... I mean, I could theoretically take the Endymion and the Abductor, and I could just make them into Union Carrier or equip it to the Vortex. Because I feel like locking my opponent out of the extra deck with just basically 2 negates would be better than just having 3 negates on the field. So, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. And my opponents definitely would try to attack into this too, you know, because it's easier to attack into the Jackal King than it is to basically try to bait the negate. He has 14 defense. Now, this isn't going to boost his defense, but it will boost, and then it will be able to attempt to clear. But, dang. I'm on the fence about this, you guys. I'm definitely on the fence about this. And another thing is Pendulum Call would keep this from being destroyed. So it wouldn't even pop itself on my opponent's turn. It would have to be for me to use on my turn. That means I'd have to be left with something to tribute summon for Chrono to do that. And I know they could theoretically. Okay, so enough of the theory talk. Let's just do this. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. I'm going to link in a Union Carrier. And I'm going to equip to the Vortex. Because at least this way, if they have the Dark Ruler no more, my whole board is just not going to lose the Dark Ruler. So you see with Pendulums, you can have that decision anxiety because there's so many lines of plays to make. So many things that you can do. You can play mid-range Pendulums, but this is how I kind of like playing it right now. So equip this dragon to this dragon. We have 2 negations, an extra deck lock, which is better than any of the negates. Because if you play Adamanticators, even if they draw a Dark Ruler no more, basically they're still locked out of extra deck. So, you know, that's really, really nice. If we play against Eldritch, at least we have a way to negate the Golden Lore. And we have a way to negate one of their best starters. You definitely don't want to end up grinding against that deck. But something cool is if they try to use anything that would try to interact with this can negate. Basically, this can negate and it would destroy itself, but it won't. So you'll have 2 ways to negate a targeting effect. This will obviously be able to boost him. So that's just kind of like how that hand plays out. Definitely wasn't the most optimal, but honestly, opening up with the Duelist Alliance plus the Abductor really made the whole hand just gas. The other cards were just the extra Pin Call and Endymion and a Purple Poison. So the playable cards that really were able to progress you anything were the Pin Call / Alliance and the Magical Abductor. That's what really made that hand. But like, there's a lot of lines of plays, and basically what I did was I decided that 2 negates with an extra deck lock is stronger than 3 negates. that can still be completely decimated by Dark Ruler no more. And I know that by scaling the White Wing it was risky, but I did also explain to you guys that you don't have to do it. You can just keep it in hand for the allure. But I felt very confident, since the fact that both those scales could destroy themselves, that it wouldn't be much of an issue of getting rid of them so I could pin summon next turn. And the only other thing that I would mention about that last hand is summoning the Union Carrier here, because there is nothing in that zone, so that way you could pin summon one thing from your extra deck next turn. So that's the only other thing that you should change about that ending board. So now let's go ahead and shuffle again. Oh snap. Shuffling 60 cards, you guys. Alright, so we drew Magister, ZEFRA Thubin, Jackal King, Abductor. Abductor loves us. And Magician's Soul. So, yeah. Abductor is definitely getting scaled this time. So we're gonna... Yeah, we're gonna scale it. We're gonna scale Abductor. We're also going to scale the Magister. 1. And then we're gonna go ahead and pin summon 2. We're going to go ahead and pin summon the Jackal King and the ZEFRA Thubin from hand. Reveal the Magician's Soul. Send Endymion. Special summon the Magician's Soul. We do want the Jackal King to be an extra deck so that Magister could potentially actually use his effect. And Abductor is going to search us potentially an Endymion that we could scale and summon depending on how far we get with Selene. I don't know. There's going to be some RNG factors with this hand. So one thing to point out is by risking this line of play, you can be stopped by an impermanence. But there's sometimes when you have hands like these where you're just like, if they have it, they have it. But if they don't, you're just going to keep progressing. So we're going to summon out Crowley and attempt his effect. I'm going to do the same thing. What I'm going to do is take Secrets and Blue Boy and Knowledge. And I'm going to do a random dice roll to see which one gets chosen. Hopefully this time it's not Knowledge. Hopefully it's Blue Boy or Secrets, because I haven't normal summoned. So there's a lot of things that could change based off the 2 cards that I draw. One, two, three, four, five, six, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4. Blue Boy. There we go. Whew! The Knowledge was the farthest, so we're definitely... Thank you. We're going to have the Blue Boy. Normal summon the Blue Boy. At the Secrets. Activate the Secrets. 1 counter on Magister. 2 counters on Abductor. Search for the Knowledge. Get a good shuffle. We just need to draw a playable spell. Spell that can be activated for us to get the other counter that we need on Magister. The other counter. Because the Knowledge is going to get us 2 counters. Knowledge in the Blue Boy. 3 counters on Abductor. 2 counters on Magister. We drew a Mastery and a Terraforming. Okay, the hand just got gas. The hand just got gas, you guys. The hand definitely just got gas. Yeah, I could see that. I'm going to Terraforming. Wait. Before we Terraform, let's just go ahead and remove 3 from Abductor. We're going to search something. So you can search either the Garuda as a hand trap, because it can play under Dark Ruler no more. Or you could search for Endymion. If you feel that you're going to get 6 counters on your field, you could easily scale him and then summon him, because we're going to resolve Magister. So if we resolve Magister, bring out the Jackal King, and then Terraforming, Jackal King will be able to get 4 counters, and then we could theoretically use the Crowley and the ZEFRA Thubin to make the Selene. The Selene would gain 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we could definitely get Endymion. So we can get Endymion or Garuda. But the other thing too is we already have Endymion engraved that we could summon off Selene. I just want different interruptions. So for this one, I'm just going to search the Garuda off of the Magical Abductor. And then the next thing I'm going to do is activate Terraforming. It's 1 counter and that's 3. Ooh, man, we can even resolve Servant. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. That is crazy. Okay, so terraforming for the Oracle of ZEFRA. From the previous list, I had 3 oracles and 3 ZEFRA providences, if I'm not mistaken. For this list, I'm doing 1 terraforming and 2 oracles to just kind of change the variety of spell counter activations. So that gets resolved. Then we can go ahead and resolve Magister. What I'm going to do is summon Magister here and the Jackal King there. They're going to get 1 counter each. And I'm going to go ahead and activate the Oracle of ZEFRA. Actually, I'm not going to activate the Oracle. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to Mastery. What do you know? We can get Endymion anyways. We're more likely to resolve Endymion and scale than we are to resolve Servant. That's just so funny. So we're going to go ahead and get the Endymion. Mastery. I would say this is going to get 2 counters for activation. So it's going to go up to 3. I would use Mastery to put the extra counter on the Jackal King, actually. So he's going to be at 4. Search for the Endymion. I would say activate the Oracle. For your following turn, because you're going to be emptying your scales, I would grab ZEFRA. So that's going to go up to 6 counters. Abductor is gaining counters too. I need to pay attention to that. She's at 3 now. 1 from that, 1 from Mastery. And, whew, goodness gracious. So from here, we can go ahead and activate the Endymion. Jackal King's going to go up to 8 counters. We'll take the Crowley and the ZEFRA Thubin. Link those to Selene. This is my proxy for Selene. Selene's going to get 1, 2, 3, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7 spell counters. So Selene's at 7 spell counters. The next thing that we can do is we can go ahead and activate Endymion. Magister does not need a spell counter to activate his effect, so we can potentially remove. I want Jackal King to kind of keep what he has. Selene removes from field, so we can just go like this. We can remove 6 from Selene, and we can summon out the Endymion, destroy the Oracle of ZEFRA on field, and he'll get a spell counter so that he's basically protected by his own effect. And Selene removes from field, keep that in mind. Then we can go ahead and activate the ZEFRA and scale. Jackal King is going to go up to 10 counters, and Abductor is going to go up to 4 counters. And we have the Garuda, so our ending board, the cool thing is we can still use the Selene. We didn't use her effect yet, so I'm going to remove 3 from Jackal King, bringing him down to 7 counters, and summon the Endymion. So our ending board has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forms of interruption. During our opponent's standby to play around, things like Dark Ruler, or, not Dark Ruler, but things like, for example, Evenly, or anything like that. I'm not Evenly Spear Mode, you could use that. One thing that I will do, just to take it a step further, is I'm going to take this Selene and this Endymion. I'm going to link summon, because they're both spellcasters. I'm going to go ahead and summon out the Union Carrier, and I'm going to equip the Buster Destruction Swordsman to my Endymion, so that way, because I don't have my counter trap, I still want to play around Dark Ruler no more. So I will lose 1 form of interruption, basically the Selene and the Endymion. Well, the Endymion was 1 form of interruption. I sacrificed that for an extra deck lock. And I can still use Garuda to bounce. I can use Magister on my opponent's turn just to remove 3. And I can summon out Endymion, Reflection, or Jackal King from my deck via Magister. I still have Magical Abductor at 4 counters. So there's a lot of follow-ups because I have ZEFRA to get ZEFRA Neo next turn. So you're set up for next turn, you're set up for this turn. This is probably better than the last inning board. Let me check the... Dang, 24 minutes? Oh yeah, so yeah, that's definitely going to be it. It's unfortunate that I only got 2 test hands in. But with playing combo decks, your hands can take a long time. Especially with just figuring out which line of play to take and which route to go. Because, it's sometimes you can get that decision anxiety where it's multiple things you could do, but you're like, what's the best way to do it? But I think that as far as playing this hand out, I wouldn't have changed anything. Except maybe potentially you could have done this too. I'm going to just point this out before I end the video. The part where we had Selene and Endymion, we could do this too. I just want to show you guys that you can do this. So where Selene and Endymion were out, you can overlay the 2 Endymions into an absolute, and then you can link the Absolute and the Selene. You can link those into like an IP Masquerena or something like that, and summon out a Vortex for an Omni Negate, and then use the IP to interact. Or you could, for example, just link with this, and let's say, for example, the Magister, and then you could summon out like an IP, summon out a Vortex, and you could still take this and this to make the Union Carrier and get the Buster. But you lose so many negates doing that. Even though you get the Omni Negate from Vortex, ultimately it just wasn't worth it. So I kind of just liked ending the board like that. And then having that Garuda, because you could bounce the Garuda with Endymion, and you could use it again on your opponent's next turn if they get a next turn. But yeah, that's definitely how I'm going to end it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. I'm going to say a quick little prayer. If you guys don't want to hear the prayer, just skip past this part. That's my baby in the background, and that's my woman. But yeah, this is Selene. This is just a proxy for those of you guys who are curious. But our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Jesus. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord, and please forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power forever. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Amen. All right, you guys, deuces as well. Yo, let me know what you think in the comments.